The local bourse kicked off the start to the week with a surge. Financial and resource sectors leading the charge. I spoke to Charlie Aitken from Bell Potter Securities a little earlier. Well, Charlie Aitken, decent rally to start the week. What's been going on?
Well, it's nice to see a little bit of green on the screens, Ticky. There was just a fraction of optimism today, or probably more accurately, less pessimism. Hopes of a Chinese stimulus package seem to drive resource stocks today. An opinion poll out of Greece that suggested that pro-austerity parties would win the next election also helped sentiment. But look, really just a bit of a recovery from a grossly oversold situation after the pummelling of the last few weeks.
Not such good news, of course. Hasty Group remains in a trading halt. But what about the implications for some of the banks exposed to Hasty Group?
This was interesting today. It seems on Mondays we always get some form of bad stock-specific news, and the Hasty Group news wasn't good news today. But the market acted sensibly here in the banking shares. The biggest lender to Hasty Group is reported to be ANZ Bank. Banks were up today, but the worst performing bank was ANZ, probably because of its exposure to Hasty Group. So no outright negative effect on the banking sector, just ANZ lagging the banking sector today.
All right, well, over to the west. Woodside's had an investor briefing, and investors, I gather, came away enthused, really.
Yeah, definitely. The Woodside sort of site visit trading update. It's a two-day dog and pony show, as we like to call it, Ticky. 100 people on that trip. Thankfully, I'm not one of them. You can read about it on your screens instead of going. But there was some good news there today. They upgraded they said the Pluto ramp-up was at 65% versus expectations of 20%. But look, in this environment, Ticky, the fact the company didn't give a downgrade and said things were going quite well was a positive, because non-negatives are positives, and the stock was up 2%, so quite good there.
So you're not much of an adventurer then, Charlie?
I think I've been to enough dirty mines and things for a while now.
All right, well, on to another mine. Oz Minerals, of course, had its AGM today. What was in that for shareholders?
Well, it's interesting. Oz Minerals shares have been hit hard as anything in the recent downturn in resource stocks, despite the huge cash holding they have on their balance sheet. Look, the Oz Minerals AGM was pretty sensible. I mean, the company has cash, so it's got options. But in the environment we've been trading in lately, Ticky, people see cash as a two-edged sword. Well, they might spend it badly, but I don't think that'll be the case. They did mention they look at alternatives, look at potential acquisitions. They own 19% of Sandfire. Sandfire shares are up 2% today, probably on the back of those comments as well. But, a reasonably sensible AGM, I would have thought.
All good. Charlie Aitken, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Ticky.